Well, first, it was nice to play at home. Awesome, great energy. I think our guys, they were prepared for it in their minds, but to come out there and just run out of the tunnel, play like a Bronco, be in front of our fans, awesome. And, you know, we don't ever take that for granted. I certainly don't. I run out of that tunnel quite a bit, and every time, you know, it's unique, it's different, and it's something that's special about Boise State. I'm not going to downplay what our team did tonight. That was a tremendous performance. I think under a couple hundred yards on offense that our defense went out there and was able to hold them to, and probably they would have had less yards. But the offense putting up some yards and some points and playing the way they did, it was good to see guys go out there and break tackles. It was good to see guys go play fast. It was good to see our guys tackle a quarterback that we really felt like was electric, and he is. We just swarmed to the ball, and we did a good job of getting around him. But I think it all goes, and then to see our special teams tonight step up. Those guys played really well. We pinned the ball inside the 10. We hit our field goals. We had Shakir back there at punt returner, and you know, he did some good things. There's some mistakes in there that we got to correct, and we got to coach better. But overall, the entire performance was tremendous by our players, and I thought they did that starting on Sunday of last week and getting themselves prepared to play. So I told them in the locker room, congratulations on that, and the challenge is how do we get better at that? How do we get better at our process so we can go out there and play? It's not always going to be like this. 800 and some yards of offense and the way we play, that's not going to happen every single game, but they were prepared to go out there and play, like Brett was saying, for 4 quarters. That's exactly what they did. It wasn't just the starters. I think good football teams play when your backups get in there and they all play, they all execute, and they all take it as important to them. And they go out there and they do their part. Because if you don't, bad things happen. And not just in the scoreboard, but just overall as your team. You know, you're not getting better. You're not improving. And I thought our guys tonight, they were in all phases, and every player that went out there and played, they were ready to play. So that goes back to our coaches, that goes back to our players, and their preparation habits. And we're not going to take this for granted. We won a big game tonight for us. And whatever anybody else thinks about it because of the score, winning is hard. Winning is hard, and we haven't won every game before, so when we get them, we're going to enjoy them. We'll celebrate for 24 hours. We'll talk about Oklahoma State when it's Oklahoma State week. And I think to us it goes back to how do we prepare ourselves going into that game, and that's really what our focus is. So, you know, again, it was a fun night. It was fun to be out there. It was fun to be on the sideline. It was fun to watch our guys and make plays and celebrate with each other. It was fun to see Avery Williams get out there and get on the throne and, you know, utilize that at home. You know, again, we can have fun and we can be focused and we can do those things. It was good to see Killian Butler get in the end zone. It was good to see John Hightower turn on the jets on a reverse and get around the corner and get a chance to see his speed in the game. It was good to see Brett go out there and make good decisions. One he pulled down on a 2nd down and long that could have been a bad throw, and he just ended up sliding, and we got a 3rd down conversion. And it was good to see the O-line put some movement and go play fast and physical, and Alexander Madison to run over 100 yards, and to see some of these guys go out there and play. So, and the reason I say that because they've earned it. They've worked hard for that, and I think when you do it, you know, what you put in is what you get out of it. And if you deserve success, you'll get it. And those guys certainly did tonight. So, great win. Excited for our team. You know, we're 2-0, and we'll try to be 1-0 this next week. Questions? Yeah, get the mic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With you know, Harsin, I mean, we've seen a team you've coached put 60 points on the board before, but I mean, it seems like I don't know if I've ever seen you so pleased with an effort after a game, and you talk about your players earning it. I mean, what's different about this team where it just all is, you know, really came together the first 2 games,
Yeah.
I guess?
Well, Brett said it too. I mean, it's never as good as you think it is. We'll go back and we'll study, but yes, we did some things on the offensive side that were impressive from the fact that we practiced that way and they went out there and executed it. And that's hard to do. Sometimes on offense it's hard to run your plays on air, let alone somebody trying to stop you and defend you. And they gave us different looks. They did some things on defense that we hadn't seen, and we adjusted really well. We made some checks. I think Brett got us into some good plays early on, got us out of some bad plays. And, you know, that's a credit to him. You know, that's his experience and the guys around him being able to adjust. So my point why I feel like, you know, I wouldn't say pleased, but I'm proud of our guys because they put the work in to go out there and play like that. And I just believe in that. I think you do the work, I think good things happen. And to me, that's the whole key to, you know, what we're trying to accomplish each and every week. So the big plays, the touchdown throw that Brett had to Hightower on the money, and, you know, some of the other explosive throws that were in there, really good job. You know, I think he got put on his back maybe one time. He took a hit in there, so protection was good. He was getting the ball out. But like I said before, I mean, Brett and not just him now, other guys, they're practicing intentionally to get better, and they got great focus out there, and I hope we can keep that up. That was the exciting part, and I knew how difficult it was going to be to tackle their quarterback. And then we tackled pretty well. Now, we got some one-on-ones we didn't tackle in those one-on-one situations, but we had 3-4 guys around the ball, and so we limited his run, you know, his runs down the field and after contact. There wasn't much that he was able to get.
What's impressed you the most about your wide receiver core, considering you still haven't had Octavius, and you've had a couple guys be able to step up and make big plays? It wasn't just one guy per game. What's impressed you most about that group?
Yeah, well, I think that they're able to do that. You know, they've been able to do it in games. I think when you go into a game sometimes, if you haven't got yourself prepared to play, there's going to be this anxiety level that you don't know how to handle because you haven't worked through that throughout the week. Those guys they've been really focused. I think Brett's done a good job leading them. You know, I think he's led them in practice where they stay that way. I think Coach Keesaw's done a really good job developing that group, and I feel like that group's hungry to go out there, and whoever gets it, you don't know who's going to get it, but to go out there and when they do, to do something with it. You know, they're out there, it's almost kind of like an internal competition of, you know, you have a chance to make a big play, you make a big play. You have a chance in reverse, you know, go do something with it. So that's the fun part. I think in an environment that you work in or in a team environment, when you kind of have these internal competitions that are fun, and the object is to do really well for your unit, and then obviously it's going to show up in the game, that's where I think their mindset is at, and they're working hard right now. So to me, I think that's why they've had a couple good games so far.
You've had a lot of good players here, a lot of good offenses here, but to have more yards than any of them ever in a game, I mean, how do you kind of put that into perspective? And the fact that you did it with 418 passing and 400 rushing, you know, as balanced as you were to, you know, your thoughts?
Well, I like that. I do like the balance. And usually it's probably a couple hundred and a couple hundred if you could, in a perfect world, now you're talking about those numbers. I did, you know, in the fourth quarter, I looked up there and I saw the numbers. It's impressive. You know, those guys, we had very few passes that we missed on, and we had big plays in the run game. So we were breaking tackles, you know, kind of all the things I said. I don't know if it's about the numbers so much as it is, besides the end of the game, I think we were perfect in the red zone, and we had a pretty high percentage on third down. And, you know, those guys, and not just Brett and that group, but then Chase Cord comes in, he makes plays. Jalen Henderson comes in, he makes plays. John Ojukwu's playing for us now. So it kind of goes back to that. And I think our team, a little bit differently, they judge themselves off when some of those other guys get in. How do they go operate? Because there's just this massive drop-off of performance. Good football teams don't do that because, you know, it's 1 or 2 plays away. Some of those guys are going to be playing for us. And I thought tonight that was the key. We were able to operate, we moved the ball, we did it consistently, and we did it with all different groups in there. So to me, that goes back to just their mindset, their habits, and that everybody's trying to do their part offensively.
You know, a year ago we were talking about sort of a need for guys to step up and make plays on offense and break tackles and turn 10 yards into 70, like you saw tonight. I'm wondering, I mean, some of these guys were here last year and have stepped up, but several of these guys are newcomers who are stepping up right away. And just, you know, how that's come about and whether that was an emphasis in recruiting to try to get a couple of guys who could help in that regard this year.
Yeah. It's always an emphasis. Yeah, we're always trying to find playmakers. You know, you're looking for tackle breakers and tackle makers. I mean, simply, I think it's a combination of the players that we had with us last year, them being better and putting the work in through the off season. You know, AJ, let me go back to AJ's catch. We come right out in the second half, we throw a bubble, and he one-hands it and then goes. And, you know, that's been a point of emphasis for him, is just breaking tackles. He had a sideline run, and he was gone. And so he's emphasized that, and it showed up in the game. But I think the group, like I was kind of talking about, that internal challenge a little bit amongst themselves to go out there and make those plays. Now they're doing those, not the one-handed catch and things like that on that little bubble, but they're making plays like that in practice. They're working hard in practice. They really don't, you know, they don't lay up, they don't pull off. You know, they go and they sprint, they kind of visualize, they put in the work. And I think that's what you're seeing in the games from that group in particular. So, but we still need it. I mean, it's 2 games. It's 2 games, and this is a long season. We got a lot more football. Football's a developmental game. We got to keep developing. I mean, that's the key to me. Hopefully we get Octavius back, and we get him in the mix, and then we continue to play well at that position. But then our quarterbacks, those guys lead as much as they can in that wide receiver room as well, creating that relationship out there, and just the timing and all the work they have to do. I think that's showed up in these games.
With John Hightower, I can't remember if I'm crossing stats or not, but I think he had like 13 catches last year at his JC. And for you to see a kid like him and to start to kind of give him opportunities, and then to see that he can handle these opportunities, what's that like for you as a coach? And then is he finally becoming known for his football abilities over his bike riding abilities?
Yeah, good question. Well, John, yeah, like anybody coming in here, they've got to figure it out. And he's worked really hard to do that. He's put a lot of time in the film room. He's practiced. Again, he doesn't have really bad habits out there practice-wise either. He goes hard. And so it's good to see him have those opportunities. He's made those opportunities. I think he's visualized and put himself in a position practice-wise to have those opportunities. That's why he's getting those plays. And he's figured out kind of how we do things here. So it's a credit to him. The bike riding thing, I don't know. I haven't seen him. He had a flat tire, so I don't know if he's rode his bike in a while. We gotta get it fixed.
You guys have